What's going on, everybody? Dylan here with Espresso Outlet, and today we are starting our Home Barista Series. So in this series, we're gonna cover a ton of different things from the very basics to espresso making at home to more of the advanced, like looking at different types of machines like single boiler, dual boiler, thermojet, thermoblock. We're going to be looking at the differences of WDT tools, frothing milk, pouring latte art, seeing the different textures in the milk from based on a latte, a flat white, and a cappuccino. So this is going to be the very first episode of the series, and today we're really just looking at the basics, looking at the difference between a spouted and a non-spouted, pretty much a bottomless portafilter, single and dual walled baskets, tampers, funnels, distribution tools, and WDT tools, and also what kind of coffee beans maybe is best for you and for espresso making at home. So again, my name is Dylan with Espresso Outlet, and let's go ahead and get started. So we're gonna first thing we're gonna get started with is portafilters. So there is something called a spouted portafilter, which is shown here. So as you can see, it is a spouted portafilter, so you can't see the bottom part of the portafilter, and the coffee actually runs through the spouts here. So as the shot's pulling, it limits spraying, which is channeling. That's also going to be deep down into the series. But essentially, it covers the espresso, makes it to where it's nice and easy, and it doesn't make a big mess when pulling shots. Most espresso machines come with a standard spouted portafilter. It's a dual and a single. A single spouted is just one side. Dual spouted is both. As opposed to looking at a bottomless portafilter, which you can see the extraction happen underneath. And then it is also open. There is no spouts. It locks straight in just like your spouted portafilter does. And they both have a good purpose, whether you want to see really what's going on into the extraction, or you can see this one kind of hides a little bit more, but it is a little bit easier when you're getting into coffee, because coffee making already can be very difficult. So to have less of a mess is a lot better way to start than to start with something like this and it just goes all over the counter. So let's look at the difference between a dual walled basket, pressurized basket, and a non-pressurized basket. So let me just go ahead and take this out. So this is a non-pressurized basket. These are individual holes inside of the basket, and each one of these holes are actual real holes, and all the coffee extracts from the entire basket. Whereas this one is a dual walled pressurized basket, so it looks like, let me take this piece out. So it looks like there's a lot of holes in this one as well. However, when you look on the other side, there is actually only, I'll zoom in too, there's actually only one single hole located right there where my fingertip is. So all of the pressure that's accumulated in the machine built up actually comes out of that single hole. So out of all these holes, there's only one hole that the coffee actually extracts out of, which means you might not have to use the best coffee. You don't have to try to get the grind size perfect, which we're going to talk about later on in the series. So if you are brand new to espresso and you want to make it a little bit easier on your journey to becoming a really refined home barista, I would suggest maybe trying out a dual walled basket that's pressurized if you don't want to buy good coffee right away. So that can be not as fresh of coffee. I would recommend, though, if you are wanting to take a deep dive into coffee and you know this is something that you're going to actually enjoy and love to learn the process, I would use a non-pressurized basket like this. It may be a little bit more frustrating at first. However, it is definitely worth getting used to, and the coffee just tastes that much better once you get it dialed in. So we're going to go ahead and move on to our dosing funnel. So the dosing funnel just allows you to transfer the coffee into this basket a little bit easier and a little bit more clean. So let's say you have a cup. So if you have a cup, let's just say one like this, and you were to put it in and kind of go right here. Sometimes coffee can spill out of the outsides of the basket, and that could be a big mess if it's not all contained in here. So what the funnel does, this one's actually magnetic, so this actually just clips straight onto a portafilter like this, and you can actually just put the coffee in like that, and then give it like a little shake, tap on the counter, remove that, and now your grind settle into your basket cleanly, evenly, and it's just a little bit better when you are looking at the workflow of making coffee at home. So definitely not a must to have a dosing funnel, but it definitely does keep your area cleaner, and it just makes for a little bit more enjoyable experience when working with your workflow. Next, we look into tampers. So this is a tamper, so it's just a handle and a flat surface. Some of them are concave, some of them are flat. I prefer the flats. However, all it does, the whole design purpose for this is just to sit inside the portafilter, tamp it, and come up. Now they say about 30 pounds of pressure, and as long as you're consistent and each one's just nice consistency and you tamp it just like this and you come out, you're not trying to like over pressure it, power it, you should be okay. So I wouldn't really necessarily worry too much about the 30 pounds of pressure. Just use this as a tool to tamp or compress your coffee into your portafilter to where it's nice and snug, compact together to create a puck to where you can pull a good shot of espresso. So they do make these in many different sizes. The size that we have here is a 58 millimeter portafilter, which the standard basket is a 58 millimeter. They also make 53 millimeter portafilters or 54 millimeter portafilters like Breville. So that you would have to use all different tools. They do not work the same. So you definitely want to make sure that when you purchase a machine that you want to see if it is a 58 or a 54 millimeter portafilter to start with. So to move on, this is going to be different in a lot of different machines. This is actually like a blind basket. Some blind baskets are actually, they look just like the normal baskets. This is not, but it pretty much doesn't have, it has 0 holes on the bottom. So it's a basket that has 0 holes. So water can go in, but it can't exit. It can only go back up through the machine. So what you would use this for, which in some cases they actually come with like this, but this is just a silicone disc that goes inside to where now water cannot escape through the holes. So what this is designed to do is to back flush and to clean your espresso machine. So you would just lock this into your portafilter, and then once you have this locked in like so, you would just put your cleaning solution in, lock it in, and then the pressure will ramp up on your espresso machine, and that solution will then go through your group head, which is where you lock your portafilter in, and it just cleans your espresso machine. You want to do this depending on how often you're making espresso. I would say about once a week, as long as you're making just an average maybe 2 to 4 drinks a day. So that is the blind basket. Like I said, some come with this silicone ring, others just come with a basket with no holes, but that is its design purpose for the portafilter and the espresso machine, so for cleaning. Next, we're going to take another look at a different tool. This is a distribution tool. Now, you don't necessarily need this tool. What the distribution tool does is it evenly distributes the coffee inside of your portafilter. So like this one, you set it up, you twist it, and these blades inside, as you can see, they actually go in here and they smooth out the surface, and it's nice and smooth and ready to tamp straight into the basket. Now, one thing I do really love about distribution tools, not only does it, like it says, evenly distribute the coffee inside of your portafilter, but it just allows for there to be a cleaner tamp. So for instance, if you put the coffee in and you have a big fluffy mess all the way up to here and you tamp, sometimes coffee gets stuck in the outside, and when you pull it out, coffee grinds come outside of your portafilter, whereas this makes the espresso shot a little bit more evenly extracted, which we'll talk about later in the series, and it just makes it for a nice workflow. A lot of these are adjustable, so this one you just click and this raises and lowers for the depth of the basket. And you'll know if this is too far down and you twist it, it's going to be, you'll see the blades, so where it's not evenly distributed in the basket. And if it's too high up, it just won't distribute the grounds evenly, and you'll notice that once you get into espresso making. But today we're just focusing on the tools that you can use to get you started in espresso making. Next is a little bit more advanced. It is WDT. So WDT is the wise distribution technique. And what this is used for is also evenly distributing and declumping your coffee when it goes into your portafilter. So these consist of very fine needles. This one is a little bit more expensive one, but as you twist it, the needles twist. So you can see as they twist, there's a different type of WDT tool. And these are really, really nice and handy. Gives you a little bit more even extraction, which could lead to a better tasting end cup of espresso. However, this is not needed to start your coffee making. So as these tools do help, and there are a lot of tools out there that help with espresso making, making it easier, arguably taste better, they're not needed. So the most needed tools on this whole entire bench right now is, I would say, to get started, your portafilter, a tamper, and your blind basket for cleaning your espresso machines. So these are the only three things that are really important to start with when making espresso at home. Now you can add scales, which I would recommend a scale actually as another option. So I actually have one of our scales that we sell, and this is a small espresso scale. You definitely want to weigh out your coffee just because it's going to make it just a little bit easier. So I would say a scale is needed for making coffee. Now you can buy cheaper scales. I believe this one goes for about $39 or $40 on our website. Super, super nice. And it's just a way to make sure that everything is as consistent as possible, because when you start your espresso process as a home barista, the biggest thing is consistency. You want to have repeatability, consistency, and just enjoy doing it, because you're at home. I would say when you first get started, you don't want to be in a hurry, so maybe do it on a day you don't work, on the weekends, and it should be fun and enjoyable. So again, this is the first episode of the Home Barista Series. Later on episodes, we're going to take a look at different types of machines, flow control, steaming milk, latte art, different textures and different drinks, recipes, different ratios, and we're going to cover all of that in our Home Barista Series. But this is like a espresso making 101, what you need to get started just to make good coffee at home. So my name is Dylan with Espresso Outlet, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.